Calwater Sports are here with the one and only Joseph Jojo Diaz. Tell me, man, it's been a while since we talked. You're fighting February 9th. It's a good fight, man. Tell me about it. Carlos Huerta's off some good wins himself.
Yeah.
Tell me about the fight, man.
You know what? I'm going to be fighting February 9th. It's going to be my first time fighting at 130. It's going to be against a tough opponent too, Charles Huerta. He's a tough competitor. He's a tough veteran, very well experienced inside that ring. So I know he's going to bring the best out of me. And I told Ralph I didn't want no easy fights anymore. I wanted the best of the best, and they offered me this fight with Charles Huerta to see how I feel at 130, and it's a tough fight. So I'm willing to take it, and I'm willing to go out there and showcase to everybody that I can either fight at 126 or 130, just depending on what champions are the best fighters at 126 or 130 want to fight me. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to fight at any weight.
I want to ask, obviously, just the last fight was the one that you missed weight on.
Yeah.
But you haven't had that issue before.
No, never.
But your body is growing. You are, you're getting a little older now, a little more mature, kind of getting that man strength a little bit. I mean, is it should you just kind of leave 126 behind and just kind of fill out well at 130? Well,
you know what? That's what we're going to see. This fight at 130, I'm going to see exactly how my body feels, because when you go inside the ring, I mean, the guys are going to be bigger. They're going to be a little more strong in there. The punches are going to be more effective in there. So I want to just go out there and see how I feel at 130. But, I mean, I am a big 126-pound fighter, so I don't think it's going to be that much of an effect. You guys ever going? I don't think it's going to be that much of an effect. So,
that was your opponent right there.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. But like I said, at 126, I did miss weight my last fight, but it was just a little miscalculation, man. I messed up on my behalf. I misjudged it, and I was just slightly off. But at the end of the day, my health is more important. I don't want to, go out there and be weak or end up, getting sick or getting seriously hurt. I really got to watch out for my mental health and watch out for my health in general. So I didn't end up making a weight. I felt like that was the best choice for me to do, instead of actually, the freaking sacrifice. You see videos of people collapsing and stuff like that. I didn't want to do that, man, because that's very, very dangerous. So I wanted to stay away from all that. But at the end of the day, I still fought. I still put on a good performance. I still came out victorious. I just feel like it was everything happens for a reason. I feel like God is watching my back. So I just got to trust the process and trust Him, and just keep on staying focused. And now I'm fighting at 130. Training very hard with Joel, and everything's going well.
Talk about that, man. You're with your dad's obviously still with you. Obviously, you're doing hand pads and everything, but you brought in Joel as well into the camp and for help. Just what new things are you kind of learning? Are you is it good to kind of have a new voice in your ear and kind of realizing, okay, maybe these little tweaks are you know what I mean? Like maybe you didn't notice them type of thing?
Yeah, you know what? We reached out to Coach Joel, because we've known Joel for a long time, and we know that he's a great coach and a great guy. And we just always want positive vibes around us. And I knew that I was kind of, already, I wouldn't say satisfied, but it was kind of already like the same regular thing, staying at the same gym that I was at my whole entire career. And I feel like I needed a change. I feel like I needed to spice things up a little bit. And I knew that in Indio, California, it's not that far. It's a 2-hour drive, but it's a little distant. It's out like in the desert and stuff like that. Yeah. And I knew that was going to keep me isolated and keep me very focused and determined for this fight. So we reached out to him, and he opened us with welcomed arms. He told us that we could stay at his place, and he could help me out in there, here and there. He don't want to step on my toes, but he still wants to put his 2 cents in, and I was all for it, man, because I know that he's an experienced coach, and I know that he's been there, and I know that he's fought he trained with Timothy Bradley, a lot of these champions and stuff too. So I know just being there, it was gonna be a lot different. And when I went there, man, I love it, dude. I love it, just the atmosphere there, all these tough fighters and all these fighters that are training there. Now you got Diego De La Hoya, Oscar Duarte, you got a couple of these MMA fighters that go there too. So
Cub Swanson goes out
Cub
there.
Swanson, and the guy that just fought too, I forgot his name. Dang, I forgot his name.
TJ? Or?
TJ, yeah.
Oh,
TJ.
okay. Yeah,
TJ Jusal.
Yeah.
He was actually there too, man. So just having everybody that's mentally focused and determined, man, just makes me, focused and determined and wants me to train hard too. So just the vibe is there. It's really good. And then Joel's always putting his 2 cents in, telling me some advice, and gives me instructions whenever I hit the sparring, or when we hit mitts, he tells me what I need to do. So overall, man, I'm very happy and I'm very content, and I'm just excited for February 9th, man. I'm excited to show everybody what I'm all about.
I'm excited to see him, man. I want to ask you, I feel like promotion issues obviously get in the way of a lot of fights. You as a fight fan, and especially as a fighter, I'm sure you know the politics of that. Just recently, obviously, Leo lost his opponent that he was fighting February 16th. Got another one. Gervonta just recently lost Mares. I've seen you on Twitter kind of like, yeah, I'd love to fight these guys. I mean, just talk about that, because I feel like your name would have added to both of those cards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, especially with the opponents falling out. You know what I mean? Like, your name would have for sure added, and I'm sure you want those fights.
Oh, yeah.
Like talk about that frustration of, like, you have a fight literally the same day as Tank. You know what I mean? And just talk about that frustration where it's like you can't, you know what, it's more difficult than it should be, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, man. It gets me very frustrated because I know that I should be competing with these type of opponents like Leo Santa Cruz, Gervonta Davis, and seeing that the opponents pulled out, man, I swear, man, when I seen that, like, I think it was 2 days ago when Abner Mares said that he injured himself, I wanted to tweet, like, put me in there, man, and stuff, but, you know, I don't want to, like, step on anybody's toes. I know what I trust Oscar De La Hoya, and I trust my promotional team and my manager. I know that they have the best interest for me, and I know that these fights are going to be made in the future, but I just got to trust the process, and I feel like I can't, you know, I got to be patient, because patience is the key. And I feel like if I'm impatient, I start, you know, getting into my head, and I start like thinking negative, and I start getting frustrated, and it just messes up my whole vibe and stuff like that. And I just want positive advice for the rest of this camp, and I know that everything's just going to fall into place. But as far as like the fights that are going to be made in the near future, I honestly think that like the Leo Santa Cruz fight is going to be made. I think the Gervonta fight is going to be made. I think my fight with Tevin Farmer might be made as well. I think all these fights are going to be made because now it's a different platform. Everybody's going like on the kind of like a streaming now, and I think that everybody's getting paid well. Everybody is getting these viewerships and stuff, and so I don't think there's going to be that much miscommunication anymore as far as like business-wise anymore. I think everybody is going to be happy and content with what people are offering them, and I'm pretty sure all these fights are going to start getting made.
You also got the champion right here. He's fighting at 130.
That's right, man.
Fighting the same. Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah, he's a tall guy here.
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
Just, I mean, is that a possible matchup? You know, I mean, you and Machado one day, you guys are fighting at 130?
Absolutely, man, especially because he's part of Golden Boy Promotions too, so that fight could easily be made. So if he does well and he, you know, ends up winning his fight against Andrew Cancio, and I end up winning my fight against Charles Huerta, maybe I can even fight him at 130. He could defend his title against me, and I could get that shot to fight at 130 and get a 130 title. But Golden Boy even has that guy Zushan, the one that just won Jesus Rojas too, and that's at 126. So I'll be willing to drop back down to 126 because I feel like I should have been champion that night at 126. I should have had the WBA title around my waist. I don't think that Jesus Rojas should have had that and had the opportunity to still fight and stuff like that because he did lose. But at the end of the day, it happened. He ended up losing, and now Zushan has it. And I mean, I could beat Zushan, man. Zushan, he ain't nothing special or anything, dude. I could beat him, and hopefully Golden Boy gives me the opportunity to show out.
You look like your mouth is watering at that.
I know, I'm ready to go,
like, please give me that, dude. Last question, man. I'm asking all you guys. Golden Boy's putting on a big fight May 4th. I'm sure you could possibly be on that undercard as well. Canelo versus Jacobs. Break down that fight for me, man.
That's going to be a very, very tough fight, man. I think Daniel Jacobs is a very elusive, strong fighter, very smart fighter as well. I don't think it's going to be in a walk in the park for Canelo. I think Canelo is really going to have to, it's going to be a chess match in there. I think whoever lands the first punch, the first clean punch first is going to win that fight because Daniel Jacobs, he is a smart fighter and he's very powerful as well. So Canelo has to be on his P's and Q's at all given time to come to that fight because it's going to be a tough fight. I'm still rooting for Canelo because, I mean, Canelo's my favorite fighter and he's a beast, man. He's a really good fighter. I mean, he knows how to box, he knows how to bang, he's a powerful fighter. He's very fast and elusive too, and he hits you with like tricky shots. So I'm rooting for Canelo, but at the end of the day, man, it's a 50-50 fight. Daniel Jacobs could pull upset.
What does Jacobs have to do? Because I feel like Canelo is probably the favorite going into that fight. Just name recognition and we can all see that he's getting better and better. But we just haven't seen a whole lot of Jacobs recently, other than, you know, like Triple G and then that last fight he had against Sergey. What does Jacobs have to do to, I guess, kind of, what would Jacobs have to do to win that fight?
You know what? I think Jacob would have to fight kind of like how he fought Gennady Golovkin. I think he has to fight his fight and fight on the outside. I think once it comes to the point where he's going to try to walk down Canelo, he's a good counterpuncher, man. And he'll be like baiting you in and land some vicious shots because that's what Canelo does. I think if Daniel Jacobs, because Daniel Jacobs is a big guy and a strong guy, I think if he keeps Canelo at bay, keeps him out at range, utilizes his jab a lot and his quickness and his hand speed, I think he could give Canelo a good run for his money and he could pull the upset. And then eventually, if he ends up catching Canelo, he could put him out. But I think he don't have to. I don't think he should look for the knockout. I think he should just fight a smart fight and take it round by round.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight, man. Also, February 9th is going to be a good fight. Tell the fans where they can follow you and see the journey to the fight, man.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on my social media, I got Twitter and I got Instagram. It's Joseph Diaz Jr. Make sure you guys follow me and tune in. I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of stuff on my story for my fight. And also, it's going to be on DAZN. So if you guys don't have DAZN, make sure you guys download the app. If you guys have a PS4 or Xbox One or even a smart TV, you guys can just go to the App Store and just download DAZN, man. It's free for the first month, and other than that, it's only $10, man, and you guys are getting some really good fights, so make sure you guys tune in.
That's a good way of letting people know, man, because I have a lot of people complaining they have to watch it on the phone, and that's a good point. Yeah, the Amazon stick, all that. True, good. Well done, Joe.
I got you.
Appreciate your time, brother. Thank you.